Yo, what's happening? Figured I'd let y'all look at me for once. Well, we're driving. I don't know how happy we are about that, but we're doing it. We're doing it. Running into curbs, running over curbs, trying to get out of this place. Up and over. Fucking up the air suspension on the trailer potentially. The plot thickens. Woo! Just passed the fella that came and saved the day last night. He said that's the most challenging dock he's ever backed into, and he's, of course, 20-year owner operator. I've said it before. I'll say it again. You know, it's me out here with a bunch of 20-year, been on the job 20 years, owner operator. Expected to do everything they do. He's from Lithuania. Understood English, though. No problem with the English language proficiency. Most of them guys are educated, somewhat educated. Some of them highly educated. I don't know. We're going to deliver this third stop. We're unless they talk me into it, coming back empty, whether they like it or not. What up, Jen? Yeah, you did miss a lot. Had to go to your slave job. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how good I told it, Jen. You know me and the rambling, disjointed storytelling, but most of my stuff's in the motel, and the company's sore at me. And fuck, I just realized I took all my. I don't have any of my stuff to wash the windows. Oh well, we'll stop at a truck stop, I guess. And will I even get there in time to make this delivery? The third drop, which at least it looks like they don't even have a dock, so we got that going for us, right? I guess this is pointless. Y'all can barely see me, so I'll go ahead and turn the camera off. Watch myself vibrate, get a little thrill. But anyway. Yeah, it took me it took me a while, and then I couldn't find my hat. I spent like 20 minutes looking for my hat, and I knew it wasn't in here, so maybe it ended up in my backpack. I wasn't. I did everything but unpack one of my two backpacks, and anything else I need, I'm going to buy en route. So I've got my larger backpack, which ain't that big compared to what I used to carry back in my peak homeless days of rucking 10 miles a day with 35 pounds minimum every day. Enjoyed it. Ruck marching, not in the military, of course. The race is on. I think my dispatcher hung up on me earlier. Oh well. I told him hang up on me if I start ranting, but I guess maybe he decided to hang up before he started ranting. It's funny though, the owner finally called. He called me about 6:30. For some reason, it came through even though I was on Do Not Disturb. I'm not quite sure how that works. I guess maybe it still gives you the visual notification. It just doesn't make a noise. I don't know. I have no idea. I'm not a phone person, but I think it is almost time for some prunes, though. That's right. Hold me back. Shouldn't hold back the big rig. I don't want him to make the line. But anyway, so he called me this morning. So on the live stream, I meter Gramp. Come on, man. It's the dumbest shit. This can't possibly help anything. You'll never convince me. Where they make you stop and wait. Half the time I just run that shit. Oh, it's green. Everybody's stopping. Motherfuckers, it's green. There's, I swear to God, they're stopping on a green. I don't know what they're doing. I'm from Arkansas. We don't have this. I don't know how to. I don't know what to do. I guess it's a forced zipper merge. I guess. I don't fucking know. Surprise, surprise! I'm the only big. I won't even get into how hilarious the truck looked parked at the dock. You know, once I managed to get underneath it, bobtail, so I got under the trailer. It's complete insanity. Yeah, so he called me this morning, and I don't know if he just wasn't aware that I bobtailed over there because I wanted to make sure and see if the trailer was there, if the guy had backed it in, or so or if they towed it, was it gone, was it stolen? I don't fucking know. And it backed into the dock. So then the owner calls me, trying to chew my ass out, trying to say the other driver was supposed to meet you last night and all this. Where were you at? It's like, oh, I dropped the trailer on the street. I was asleep when you tried to call me. If you tried to call me, I was asleep. I'll tell you there, partner. And of course, I knew. And then he's trying to make it sound like the guy was there but couldn't drop it in the door because then now he can't just leave it there because now he's got he's got a load to go deliver or whatever. And they can't have their dock occupied, but it's like, unless I've just completely lost my mind, I'm going to go back. So I'm like, oh, do you need me to go? You need me to go pull it out of the door? Like, what? I mean, what do you need me to do here? And he kept trying to stick to it. Maybe he was confused. I don't know. I mean, maybe he just was confused by the whole thing. And then later on, he calls me. So we go through that whole rigmarole where he's trying to gaslight me. And fair enough, fair enough. But I'm sure I pissed everybody off well and good by now. But one of my specialties, in case y'all are confused. But, so he called me later, and I'm still piddling around trying to get organized in my room there, in my hotel room. You'll have to bear with me. I'm obviously still affected by whatever all this has been. Whatever they've done to me, this spiritual attack. It's definitely having a draining effect. It's funny because when I was in Fort Wayne, Indiana, I found a fairly affordable Wood Spring suite. It's an extended stay. and $350 a week if you paid for a whole month at a time. With taxes and everything. It's not too shabby. Sounds like a lot, but it's really not. And my gut was telling me to just go ahead and move into that motherfucker. It's right next to a super center. So I rented a week at a place near about in Waukesha, and now I'm headed up to I guess northern Wisconsin. My plan is to come back into, but I don't know what they're going to try to do. They're going to try to have me do. I'm just gonna say, listen. I'll probably duck their calls, but I may answer. I don't know. We'll see. So, look, I advise y'all to cut your losses. Send somebody to tow this truck and trailer back to Chicago. Maybe you can get it. Whatever. Let them figure it out. You know, surely they can figure out some type of way to have somebody come pick it up. You know. But again, there's always the possibility that they will talk me into staying. I realize now I failed to rinse out my eyeballs. It's funny having a sink and all of that. Two sinks, actually. Got a little kitchenette and forgetting to use the fucking thing. Got a fuel stop in about an hour. So north to Fond du Lac and then points north. That's where the Loves is. Get some fuel. Maybe get some watermelon if they have any. Starting to ease into the idea of some fasting. I've already cut down some of my food intake. We'll see. I had fruit this morning. Oh yeah, prunes. I'm gonna have some prunes. Oh, got nothing to rinse my mouth out in, no. See, this is one thing about moving out. Half the reason I didn't want to move back in is I don't have my stuff that I need, man. Need my stuff. All right, there we go. I didn't bring too much. I figured I could just buy whatever I needed en route, if anything. I don't even have the hours to come back today. I gotta wait till tomorrow. Be out of hours when I get there. You know what? That's another thing. It's kind of willy nilly sending me everywhere, and then with apparently no worry for if I'm going to have the hours or not. I also wonder, are they listening to me? Because they certainly have access to the audio on this truck. There's no way they don't. Maybe I'll be their entertainment for the day. Apologies for the chewing noises. Wauwatosa. That's quite an impressive water tank there. Water tower. Some corporate hell strip mall. Yeah, slow merge me, slow merge me, slow merge the fuck out of me. Yeah, slow merge death. That's the way to drive. Woo! You know it's bad when I'm getting annoyed at the traffic. It doesn't happen too often. Oh, everybody left. I started yelling at the traffic. They all dropped off, unless I started boarding. I've noticed there's just about one thing universally that folks, when I'm driving, will not stick around for, and that's me getting annoyed at the traffic. Well, anymore, I've got a low tolerance for people conveying their annoyance, frustration through their voice, also. So I get it. I get it. Mhm. I was waiting to be able to spit that. I rinsed my mouth out. I was waiting to be able to spit out the window. Took a while. Menominee Falls. Guess where old Gang lived or lives, if anybody remembers. Although I think there's also a Menominee. It's like two different places in Wisconsin. That might be where he used to live or still live, maybe wherever he's at. Anybody knows that fella? Dang. He used to pop up on the channel from time to time. I think where he was at was closer to Madison than this is Milwaukee. Close to Milwaukee. Yeah, this must not be it. This traffic is schizophrenic. It don't know what it wants to do. Speed slow down. I pull out the pass. Everybody speeds back up. But that happens. No reason to be frustrated. I think I got it out of my system earlier. The slow merger of death. But anyway. So yeah, they've cajoled and wrangled this royal we into finishing the delivery. Then I have another problem, which is if I go back to Waukesha empty, where do I leave this truck and trailer? There's no trucks, no proper truck stops, and I mean, there's no telling how much I have the money, but I'm loath to give Uber $50 or I mean, whatever. It's like 25, 30 miles. It's got to be $40, I would imagine. You'd probably find somewhere to park it on the street, but still, whether or not they tow it, I guess I could just put my phone number in a note, hope for the best. And then who knows? By the time this week's over, I don't know if I'd be willing to go back to work for them or not. I don't know. What do y'all think? Say we don't know. You don't even let us have a live chat half the time. Why are you asking us? What up, Venus? Hey, what's up, Jay? I see Mr. J down there. Trust that you're well. I should get a fucking passport. Go to Scotland, right? That's what I should do. I got the money. I got enough money to come over there, Jay. I wonder how far in advance I'd have to book to get a halfway reasonable. I don't like to overpay. Halfway reasonable airfare to Scotland or wherever you fly into. Of course, old Jay's he's a Brit. If I'm not misremembering. I believe he's from England, Englishman in Scotland. I think I'd rather check out. I think I'd rather go to England than Scotland. I mean, both would be cool, right? Well, God bless you too, Jay. How about that? How about that? Blessings, greetings, and salutations. Well, it was nice of that driver to come help me not feel bad, but surprise, surprise, I don't feel bad about not being able to hit that dock. It was complete insanity, and what's up, USA? US 8 308. That part of me that's a so-called anarchist at heart, a little more lefty, a little more left. And again, I don't even like the left-right paradigm bullshit, but I just call it a little more open-minded, perhaps in certain ways. The left very closed-minded also, but again, I wouldn't even want to operate in those dynamics. But either way, unions, Americans at a certain point decided unions were just pretty much bad across the board. But, you know, what that means is Benton out here doing a job with no representation. Because, when I see, it was just hilarious looking at the tight confines with just a trailer and no truck. And then once I got my truck connected to it, I'm just like, this is total fucking insanity. What else would I expect from this world of death and game of lives, right? Oh, is that Uncle Rick? Yeah, I have trouble keeping up with who people are. Oh, New Year's Eve. There you go. I like that one. That's a good one. Getting a little funky with it. A little creative with it, Rick. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I forget where Rick's originally from, but I've been going up to Boston area. I'm pretty sure you're not from there, but Boston area and Connecticut quite a bit. So and I started to talk about this on the early stream, but I didn't quite flesh it out. But part of it I went through with this, and I hesitate to call it mental health challenges, but I mean that is what it is. Just in the short term, I bounce back pretty quick and I don't act out, whatever. But no crimes, never been committed or held, never been on a psych hold or anything. So a lot of that, I think, is just, can the being shut their fucking mouth when they need to? Right? Yeah, I like to express myself, shoot my yap off, but at a certain point, when the authorities show up, I'm really good at shutting the fuck up and helping them uh, help me be left alone, and offering to leave, offering to anything I can do, right? To de-escalate. Oh, Brooklyn. Okay, yeah, I thought New York. There you go. Yeah, there. Yeah, Connecticut's close enough, right? Lived in Vermont and Connecticut. I don't mind Connecticut. It's I don't know that I would ever want to live there, but um, now I will say for whatever reason I tend to get along with the people from Massachusetts the best. I don't know why that is exactly. I mean, it's no surprise that Southerners aren't necessarily huge fans of the Northeast. A lot of us we like people from there, but we don't necessarily like them in the Northeast, if that makes sense. But Rick probably knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, Massachusetts. For some reason, I typically get along with people from Massachusetts pretty well. And I know Boston has a reputation as one of those places where it's fairly easy to get punched in the mouth. I grew up in that sort of. It's fairly easy to get punched in the mouth when I was growing up. So I probably prefer that overall. And I'm sure if I tried hard enough, I could get punched in the mouth in New York. But not that that's the goal. Boston is like New. Well, there you go. Yeah, they're probably like a lot alike, I would imagine. But there are, of course, there's some differences. But I'm no expert in either one. In fact, I've spent almost no time in Boston, and I've spent more of the outskirts. Well, I think I've only been downtown once for a couple of days truck driving. And then, oh, we got a looky loo. We got a looky loo. Sometimes I wish I wasn't so damn handsome. I mean, I don't really mean that, but we got us a looky loo. Creepy, man. Two grown ass men in a pickup truck working for the railroad or some kind of contractor or something looking kind of highfalutin. It's fucking creepy. They must have got swept up in the spirit. But anyway, what I was talking about, I guess we lost Jay. That's all right. Keep it moving, Jay. I do that myself quite a bit. And can't say as a blanket. Oh my God. Now everybody's catching me and hanging out. It's becoming an epidemic. What do y'all want from me? What are you trying to get? I don't understand. I have nothing to give you, sir. It's bizarre. Another workman. He's in a industrial type of pickup with a flat, like a custom flatbed with toolboxes on the side and forget what to call that, like a cherry picker, I guess, where you can go up in the air. Now, how did y'all catch me? Here's what I'm trying to figure out. How did y'all catch up to me and I got to slow down to 62? Get y'all the fuck away from this. Bizarre. I think it's a spirit, man, and I'm looking forward to some preaching. I really am. Y'all know me, man. It's hard to commit to a course of action, and I'm a little scatterbrained, so I appreciate y'all bearing with me. But uh, so I realize now I started to tell the same part of a story repeatedly, and I'm never quite getting there. This is probably part of the reason why I couldn't find my fucking hat, although it may very well be in my backpack here. Spent 15 minutes looking for it, never found it. Yeah, I'm thinking about renting a car, and this is a good time of year for sleeping in a car. And as much as people get harassed and moved along, so-called car camping. Uh, I think just I have enough experience in homelessness to be able to sort of determine. It's mainly about knowing which areas are going to be a no go versus okay, I'm good here for tonight, but then the cops are going to drive through. They patrol here every night. They're going to think to themselves, well, I've never seen that car, and counterintuitively, they're going to leave me the fuck alone. And then that probably so whoever's in a certain area repeatedly, they probably think to themselves, okay, well, now it's safe. And then the second night, the cops roll through and patrol, and they say, hey, they may not even notice, but by the third night, they're like, hey, ain't that same car? And then pretty soon, their curiosity gets the better of them, right? And now they want to know. So now it's the knock on the window at 2 a.m. and they don't have anything else to do anyway. So I don't know that I've ever gotten that knock. Hang on, I got to switch the earbuds. All right, I'm back. Now we're on the earbud. Now we're on the earbud. I'm basically paying $45 a month to StreamYard at this point to watch my icon vibrate and be able to use my microphones on my earbuds. How about that? 66. Interesting. It's one of those blue signs that tells you what services are available on the exit. And everything was painted over with blue except the exit number, which is 66. It's interesting driving America, whether in a big rig or in one's personal vehicle, and seeing a lot of the coding and the numbers on sometimes the sign says like whatever town 11 miles, the next town 22 miles, and then it's like 311 to wherever, the big town, the big city, or something along those lines. And the same with the lottery numbers, the jackpot amounts. 322 pops up a lot. 223. Don't see 232 quite as much. But anyway, yeah, apparently one can rent a car for a month for around about $1,200, depending on where you rent it, where one rents it. And then we have another thing where I'm thinking about the budget. So I think right now, with all the money, which ain't a lot of money goes fast, man. As I'm sure y'all know. And I'm quite frugal by nature. And I can certainly, what I found is in a lot of ways, it's just
it's more expedient to just go ahead and not, don't waste it. Don't be frivolous, but to be more of a free spender than a miser it really does seem to be, just seems to work out better for whatever reason in the long run. Um, and then, of course, I learned in those 6 consecutive years of living outside with almost nothing. Most of the time, if I had a desire for something, it was difficult to impossible to obtain. But then, whatever I needed, I almost always was able to get. And the amount of times that I was just bebopping around doing my normal thing, and then, oh, there's one of those things I need just right there. And, now the thing about homeless people is they don't ever lose anything or leave anything behind. Everything is stolen. And that's one thing I learned about homeless people. They never misplace anything. They never forget their things. Everything's stolen. So I guess in their world, I stole all of these things. It's like, well, I don't know. What am I supposed to do when I need a can of butane and I'm wandering down the street and I look down, there's a fucking can of butane? Am I supposed to just leave it there? I mean, I don't know. I need it. I swear, I used to go recycling in LA. I needed acetone because I had, in gluing my glasses, my frame of my glasses kept breaking. And I got crazy glue all over the lenses. I needed acetone. And the budget was such that it was like, well, I went and priced acetone. It was like, all right, well, maybe tomorrow. And a couple of days, I found, and maybe I bought some, I found a bunch of acetone in the garbage on Sunset in a garbage can at a gas station. Just 2 brand new unused bottles of acetone just right there in the trash. In fact, I put them in my car and I had them for quite a while. I don't remember if I ever found a use for them or not. Now, I'm also thinking about maybe just flying my happy ass to LA. But the thing about LA is I don't really think that's the preaching spot. I think that although I've never gone near the campuses, I've only ever really, it might just be that downtown ain't the spot. Echo Park ain't the spot. Maybe there's not one, but I think my sweet spot is going to be near college campuses, and there is no ministry in the conventional sense, right? Although maybe it could be probably by dictionary definition, but I wouldn't view it that way. And I accept donations. That's called life, or what they call life. But there's not going to be a tip jar. We ain't passing the hat around, right? There's no, hey, go round up the homeless. Let's feed them some hot dogs after we make them listen to a sermon for 30 minutes. All right. Make them, no, motherfuckers. What would Jesus do? I'm pretty sure he wouldn't do that. Where Brooklyn at, Rick? The Badger State. That's right. Wisconsin. Also, low key, folks may not be aware, Wisconsin, the drunkest state, although that may have changed. 10 years ago, it was the unquestioned drunkest state. It's probably kind of in a group of more like 4 or 5 states at this point. And as we know, Gen Z is not into the boozing. And have y'all seen how many breweries and long time beer brands have gone out of business? Like that Anchor, that Anchor Steam beer in San Francisco. They went out of business, like I think before the pandemic, or maybe right when the pandemic kicked off. Rogue out of Oregon, they went out, and that's a strong brand. That's a real. I was surprised nobody even wanted the brand, because they tried to sell it, get what they could for the business, and nobody wanted it. That was a little surprising. So I think, and of course, the big boy. See, I don't think that's even beer. I had that Modelo when I went for a beer and a shot. I think if that will happen again at some point. I think I'm just going to have, and I don't even want to go to a bar at this point. I'd rather just go to. I'll pay $5 for a fucking halfway decent, a 250 milliliter little bottle, whatever those are, those little shooters. I think that probably ends up being 2 drinks worth, I would imagine, whatever that is. And some will say, "Oh man, here's how it starts." I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't had any fucking problem with alcohol. Now I have noticed that if I start drinking beers, we could talk about alcohol because I'm just rambling at this point. In the hot summer, when I was walking around doing recycling, for 5 to 6 hours a day in LA in the hot sun, which I needed to do, I was, getting my walking speed back. Still affected from the chronic illness. And I finally talked myself into having a 22-ounce Guinness, which it does seem to still be rare. It's actually brewed beer, it seems like. And then I had one the next day, and I had one the third day. And what I realized is I could tell I was starting to feel kind of shitty. And that was I never had more than one in a day in a 24-hour period. So then I said, okay, if you can have one, but then you got to have at least 72 hours with no booze. And, I think maybe then at that point, it was like, why even bother? So I, went however many more days and maybe had another one. But of course, that was before the unlocking of the achievement of true knowledge of self. So, I probably was kind of feeling down, down in the dumps or whatever. But just didn't acknowledge it fully. Or just, I don't know, whatever that is that at times leads people to want to medicate with alcohol. And then didn't drink anything at all for quite a long time. And then, started having beers again. And part of that is I got to talking to some alcoholics on Sunset. And, you go the whole barbershop and getting a haircut type thing, you go enough times, eventually you'll get a haircut. And then the famous incident where I streamed, I forget, where did I go? Hollywood or West Hollywood or something? I even forget where the fuck I went. And I think I had 8 drinks over like 5 hours. And again, I don't really get hangovers. And now red wine's that's kind of a different thing, but I think I started on red wine and then switched over to beer, if I recall correctly. And red wine, I enjoy it, but the thing about that is, there's a reason they sell it in those, in certain sizes, right? But either way, I'd say even one of those, and I forget what size they are, those boxes you can get at Target. A lot of places have them, those paper boxes, but the small one, you know, I think red wine for me is probably to be avoided entirely. But and God, it tasted horrible. But one time I bought a 4-pack of those Sutter Home Cabernet. They're god awful, but um, you know, the thing about red wine is, it needs to be dry, right? And it's it's a dry Cabernet Sauvignon, so at least qualifies, right? It's fucking tastes horrible. And man, I got lit the fuck up on 2 of those, and and here's where the drinker knows themselves. I threw the other 2 in the trash because there's nobody to give them to, right? Threw the other 2 in the trash and did not go back looking for them. And yeah, it took 5 full days to get back to feeling normal. And then I got to researching the effects of alcohol on gut, intestinal bacteria, gut flora. And it's pretty horrific. It pretty much wipes it out. And, I spent all that time building up that good gut bacteria, and then 8 drinks fucking decimated it. And it came back, certainly, and my mood was affected. I got real freaked out over that Paul Thomas Anderson movie, One. It's one of the worst titles of all times, least memorable. One Battle After Another. Horrible title. Still haven't seen it. What I failed to realize is that the lefty bozos that went and watched it, it mostly played like a comedy. Not it wasn't taken seriously really at all. And the right wing just completely avoided it. I think the MAGA types. And again, the idea that that's half the country, it's a third of the country. Same thing with Democrats. That's a third of the country. So that movie ended up being a nothing burger. So, ultimately, I realized, okay, well, no more drunkenness, sir. This is crazy. What are you doing? It was a fucking nightmare, man. It really was. And that's without a hangover. I felt as fine the next day as I did on the 4th day, right? It was like, fuck, this is horrible. It actually kind of got worse until the end. But as the days went on. And so then in the snowstorms and the extreme cold, I was in Pennsylvania, done for the day. It was real cold and windy. And I said, because a lot of times I'll think about having a drink and then I think about my routine and it's like, well, you just had whatever. And then about 30 minutes, you're going to have this other thing. And, whether it's a supplement or a meal, and it's like alcohol just doesn't, there's no place for alcohol. Well, it just happened to be a perfect time in my schedule where I was like, yeah, I got time to have like 2 drinks. I can have a beer and a shot affecting nothing. And then after that, I had a pizza delivered, it was all right. Not great, not bad. It was there. It didn't fuck me up or anything, and what I realized is that was a when you got no tolerance, that's a hell of a buzz, man. And this is a long way around to get to Modelo. I think any of those mass-produced beers, I don't think that's beer. I think it becomes such a scientific process of mass production. It's not beer in the way that, Guinness, and at some point I'm sure Guinness will cross over into not being beer, but an actual microbrew that's whatever that's a real actual beer, because I definitely felt, hours later, I could feel just kind of cruddy and just kind of it was dirty. It was like a dirty buzz on the back end, and I know that ain't from the tequila. I had 1800 Blanco, which I don't like the taste of at all, but it's a quality wise, there's just fine. It's completely fine tequila. Nothing wrong with it. And Patron's fine also. It's just you can find an equal or better tequila for less money. And I've tried most of them. Whatever's in your liquor store. I love tequila. So I think next time I'll just have really what I need to order is tequila and water, a double, no ice, but an actual double, which is I believe 2 ounces, right? But then is a shot an ounce and a half. And even serving and waiting tables, I still haven't completely figured out what the hell this is. But so, and nobody really drinks tequila, water and tequila in a rocks glass. But and again, I'd rather just go to the liquor store and get one of them shooters, which is probably a double, and then pour it in my own fucking cup and put my own splash of water in it. But something about the water really wakes it up or whatever. And I want to be clear. It has to say 100% agave. If it does not say 100% agave or 100%, puro de agave, it is not real tequila. That's your Cuervo Gold, and that's why everybody hates tequila, because as a young person they got drunk on Cuervo Gold and they threw up, and it's like, yeah, it's half tequila and it's half fucking sugars. The sugars is what fucks everybody up, makes them sick, and gives them hangovers. I drank a whole fucking pint one time I think it was a pint. Hell, it might have been bigger. I drank most of a bottle of the cheapest of the cheap tequila with the worm, which was actually mezcal. And by the time had my fill, whether or not I ate the worm really didn't even matter. But I felt completely fine. Now that's back when I was drinking regularly, but I felt it didn't fuck me up at all. But try to drink a bottle of Cuervo Gold, good luck to you. But they do make proper Cuervo that's 100% agave. So it's not just you can't swear the brand off in its entirety. Did I pass the fucking? Okay, I thought I might have passed the fuel stop. You need to plug the phone in pretty soon. What are we down to on the battery? 50%. Yeah. Now, where's my charging cable, and can I get to it? That's a charging cable, but not the one I thought I brought. But it'll do. She'll do in a pinch. So yeah, I could see maybe I don't know about today, maybe who knows? I could see having once I get done for the day. Hell, I'm in Wisconsin. I'm sure I can wherever the fuck I end up parking. I'm sure I can find tequila. Maybe we'll see. Maybe not. Still easing into the fasting. Only food I brought. Two bars of my dark chocolate. He started to bring watermelon. I said, fuck it, I'll just see if Loves has any. Get that on my points. You know what I just realized that I don't think I thought about is I be in battery saver and it kicks me down to 4G LTE. I never really actually. You think I would know that, but 'cause now I'm on 5G ultra wideband. Let me go onto my hotspot phone. I want to see what kind of speeds we're getting. Let's do an internet speed test. I don't think we're doing too good on the hotspotted phone. Let's see. No, we ain't hardly getting nothing over there. Sometimes they slow the hotspot down though, network management and such. Well, I'm not leaving the stream to find out. Exit 97. Let's not miss our exit. 28 degrees. It's warming up. It's almost time for my marshmallow root extract and my slippery elm bark extract from my intestines. But anyway, I guess I've yapped at you. Oh, hell, we're up to double digits, though. I was about to leave. It's like, wait a minute. Maybe I need to stay. Although what we've learned is usually when I stop for fuel, and I'm going to go in the store this time, we'll sort of get into a contemplative state, and it makes it hard to continue rambling on the stream. So I'm going to get out of here. Maybe back later. Who knows? Bye.